Hi everybody. This isn't the beginning of the service. This is just us giving some announcements in person before the service. I'm Judy Hart, a member of the Board of Trustees. I want to offer a special welcome to those of you who are visiting for the first time. I hope you'll join us for coffee and conversation in the gallery following the service. There's going to be a newcomer chat after service today in the library. That's that room out there by the tree. Visitors, first-time guests, and longtime friends are welcome to join us to learn more about Unitarian Universalism. Everyone is invited to attend the Justice in Action celebration on Thursday, June 15th. It's a family-friendly event with music, games, and refreshments. Details are in your Friday e-blast. That's for everybody, whether you were able to go to the May 4th assembly or not. Summer office hours begin today. Let's have a round of applause for that. Yes, we like summer hours around here. For the next 2 months, the church office will be open Tuesday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 1, and Sunday from 9 a.m. till noon. And last but not certainly least, we received our 501c3 designation letter from the IRS. It came yesterday in a plain white envelope, right? This opens a lot of doors for us, and we appreciate all the hard work that our board president, that's me, and staff put in to make this happen. But we couldn't have done it without your vote. So thanks to the 114 people who voted yes for accepting the amendment to our Articles of Incorporation. So there's a couple of minutes now before the service begins. Talk to your friends. You're welcome to stand up and move around. Everybody gets so serious after these announcements, and it's like terrifying. So talk to each other, will you? The service will begin in a couple of minutes.
I short-stopped you, sorry.
Good morning. This is our chalice lighting today by Laura Wallace. As frozen earth holds the determined seed, this sacred space holds our weariness, our worry, our laughter, and our celebration. Let us bring seed and soul into the light of thought, the warmth of community, and the hope of love. Let us see together, hear together, love together. Let us worship.
It's you I like. It's not the things you wear. It's not the way you do your hair. But it's you I like. The way you are right now. The way down deep inside you. Not the things that hide you. Not your toys. They're just beside you, but it's you I like. Every part of you, your skin, your eyes, your feelings, whether old or new. I hope that you'll remember, even when you're feeling blue. That it's you I like, it's you yourself, it's you, it's you I like.
Welcome to the United Church of Lincoln. How are you all doing this morning? Great. Well, my name is Jason Slaughter. I'll be worship leading today, and my worship associate today is Allison Starr. Over the last several years, the way we have met has often changed, but whether in person, on Zoom, or on a YouTube live stream, or some way of being that we cannot yet imagine, worship together is a change to deepen our connection with the sources of meaning in our lives and to proclaim who we are and what we are about, throwing open the doors of the congregation and proclaiming the radical love and welcome at the heart of our faith. The Unitarian Church of Lincoln aspires to be a loving community, united in reason with spiritual exploration to transform ourselves and the world. Welcome to this loving community. May we in our gathering here be about the work of transforming ourselves and our world. I'm going to start off with a little saying from Ken Poirot. There is no greater power and support you can give someone than to look them in the eye and with sincerity, conviction say, I believe in you. So today is our bridging service. We're going to have a lot of things going on today of milestones and moving from one point to the other. So today we're going to start with one of our favorite things, I think, of our church. We're doing 2 naming ceremonies. Chelsea, if you want to go ahead and lead us off with that.
Hello, my name is Chelsea Krafka, and I'm the Director of Religious Education here at the Unitarian Church of Lincoln, and I am honored to do our ceremony of naming and dedication for 2 very young people today. From time immemorial, human beings have celebrated the miracle of our children's lives. We marvel at the beauty and purity of each child, believing that every conception is immaculate. For we know that in every child who is born, under no matter what circumstances, and to no matter what parents, the infinite potential of the human race is born again. We come now to a special moment of celebration and recognition, a time to dedicate the children of families in our religious community. The children who come to us become our intimate companions through the long journey of life. Theirs are also the hands in which rests the whole future. Theirs the minds and hearts in which what has been of deepest concern to us will live on in new forms. This is the time when we seek to express our highest hopes for our children, a time also when we may renew our own commitment to the religious values that we have chosen. So we now invite the families and children who are being dedicated forward. Come on up. Come on over this way. They get wiggly and it's great. Keith and Megan, Sabrina and Sarah. By bringing your child into the presence of this company in an act of dedication and naming, you now recognize publicly what you have already resolved in your hearts, that you will nurture them in body and mind and spirit and help them to grow in wisdom and in faith. You acknowledge that you will teach them to seek after truth and to do that which is good. Yours is both an awesome responsibility to fulfill and a joyous privilege to perform. Will you do this to the best of your ability? And to the rest of the family, biological and chosen, you're in two different places in the sanctuary, I believe. Will you please stand as you are able or raise your hand and be acknowledged? Up, if you feel inclined, if you're willing. I need to ask you an important question as well. You also have a responsibility for these children, to love and nurture them, to support their parents as they care for them, to pass along your wisdom to them and to share in their life journey. Will you do this to the best of your ability? If so, please say the words, I will. Thank you. And to the rest of the congregation here at the Unitarian Church of Lincoln, we too have a responsibility to each child who comes before us this day. So, if you would please rise as you are able. May we rededicate ourselves to an active concern for the children in this community and for all children. It is our duty to guide them by teaching and by example that they may walk in the way of wisdom and truth and justice. It is our reward to see the beauty around us reflected in their eyes. So if you would please repeat after me as you see fit to do so. Ellis May McGuffey. That's this one right here closest to me. And Nicole Marie Schmidt-Pinnix. We will strive to create a sustaining community of faith, a community of memory and hope, and to nurture you as you grow and thrive. Please be seated. All right, so I'm going to need someone to come closer to me. Ellis, can you maybe move closer to me so I can reach you with or grab the microphone. There you go. I'm going to give you this rose in just a moment. And Jason, our worship associate, is going to help as well with Nicole. We dedicate you, Nicole Marie Schmidt-Pinnix and Ellis May McGuffey, your thoughts, where we touch the rose to the head, your vision by your eyes, your speech, to the work of all life. May you serve with all your mind and heart and strength. Sure, you can have it now. You can take it. The ideals of truth and beauty and goodness. And may you grow in nobility and firmness of purpose day by day and year by year. In token of this special moment, we present you with this gift as a symbol of your part in the ongoing process of life. Yeah. Or to a parent. There we go. Please join me in a moment of silent meditation. Not silent, I'm saying things. As we contemplate the miracle of birth, as we renew in our hearts the sense of wonder and joy, may we be stirred to a fresh awareness of the sacredness of life and the divine promise of childhood. May we so live so that all our children will be able to acquire our best virtues and to leave behind our worst failings. May we pass on the light of courage and compassion and the questing spirit, and may that light burn more brightly in these, our children, than it has in us. So be it. Blessed be. Thank you. Thank you. A round of applause, please. And now, if you would please rise again in body or in spirit. Our hymn is number 325, Love Makes a Bridge. And you can go ahead and have a thank you. Thank you. If anyone would like to come forward for the story, you're welcome to do so now. Our story today is called Let Go and Let Goo. It is adapted and told by Ebby Bromley, DRE, and written by Joy Barry originally. This morning I bring a story of a creature, an expert of gathering up and letting go. When a caterpillar starts life, it's in a little egg on a leaf. It hatches out and starts eating, and it eats and eats. Some of you might know that story too. And it grows and grows, and soon it is a big caterpillar. Now, when we grow, and we grow bigger, do we get too big for our skin? No, it grows right along with us, but not for a caterpillar. Soon it is too big for its skin, and it wriggles right out of the old one that got too tight. A caterpillar molts. It eats, it grows, and it splits its outer skin right down the back, and it doesn't even hurt when it crawls out, dressed in a new skin that fits much better each time. Finally, the caterpillar attaches itself to a stick or a twig, hangs upside down, and gets ready to shed its skin one more time. This time, the skin underneath looks different. it forms a chrysalis. And it is what the caterpillar was wearing underneath all those skins that it grew out of. At first, it is soft like the caterpillar was, but as the caterpillar hangs in the chrysalis, it begins to change, and we call it a pupa. The chrysalis gets harder and harder to protect the pupa while it changes one final time. And it's then that everything goes dark. There's so much amazing and miraculous stuff happening inside a hard little chrysalis, but you'd never know it from the outside. The caterpillar is changing into a completely different kind of creature. That kind of change is called a metamorphosis or transformation. You see, when the baby caterpillar egg was laid on a leaf by its mother, it already carried with it in every cell of its body the DNA or blueprint or recipe for two different kinds of bodies. Most of its life, it spends as a caterpillar, but during metamorphosis, it has to change, and it starts using that special code. Inside every chrysalis, a caterpillar's whole body is turning to a kind of goo and breaking down everything about it that was once a caterpillar. Something called imaginal cells. Isn't that lovely? That are changing into body parts the caterpillar never had and never needed before. Like what? Wings, of course. Can you imagine hanging upside down by a thread inside a tiny chrysalis, unable to move, feeling your entire body go still and then break down and change into something completely different? A caterpillar doesn't know it's changing into a butterfly. It doesn't know it's growing wings, doesn't know it will fly or have beautiful, colorful patterns. If it knows anything at all, it's just that it's time to let go. Sometimes people talk about change and they say that it is very hard to trust and just let changes happen. Sometimes people say, let go and let God. And if they believe that God is in charge and everything is going to be okay, if we will stop worrying so much, that's all right. If caterpillars talk to each other about their change, they might say instead, let go and let goo. Because that's what is happening. The whole caterpillar body turns to mush and then puts itself back together again, builds a brand new body out of the goop. Every caterpillar, if it's lucky, grows up and transforms into a butterfly. We usually focus on the butterfly that emerges, but the real magic is in the goo. And it's the hardest part. In times of change, when we feel like we are in a puddle of goo, may we find the ability to believe that something is changing us or the world. May we have the hope, the trust, the faith. May we remember that somehow there is an amazing plan that lets a worm grow wings so anything can happen when we're willing to let go and let goo. And that is the end of our story, but we're not dismissing children just yet.
Like I said, today is our bridging service. Now, normally our bridging service, we see our high schoolers bridge over to the young adults. This season, right now, we don't have any. So today, we're going to ask our youth. Over the past year, our kids have worked hard, whether in public schools, preschools, or homeschools. This morning, we handed them certificates to celebrate the moving of one grade to the next. These are milestones in their life that I want to make sure we as a congregation celebrate as a community of what they have accomplished. I'm asking the kids, if they can line up over here on the left side and then come up one by one at our little bridge and say their name and what grade they're going into. Now, if you don't feel comfortable coming up by yourself, please come up with a parent or guardian or just a good friend. I know it can be scary to come up here and say something about yourself, and that's okay. Once you've come up, you can go back to your seat or go back to your RGL today and have some fun with your teachers today. So if we can, let's go ahead and have our youth that's here, if you have your certificate, if you'd like to come up, and we can go ahead and celebrate you and have you say what your name is and what grade you're going into. That's fine. We'll do it. We're flexible today.
My name is Logan. My name is Logan, and I'm going to third grade.
My name's Mira, and I'm going to first grade. My name's Eliza, and I'm going to first grade.
My name is Andy, and I'm going into 11th grade.
My name is Amelia, and I'm going to sixth grade.
These are our youth today, so let's give them a round of applause. And they're dismissed. Thank you, Bill. Now, a central part of our services, oops, and there things go. Thank you, guys. Thank you. A central part of our services is the time that we join together as a community to mark the moments of our lives. We share one another our joys, our sorrows, and the events that mark our steps in our journey. The threads of sorrow and those of joy are intertwined with fabric of our lives. Present for all, remembered of all. We share those threads, and then they are woven together with those of others in our community. The joys are shared and magnified, and we're comforted in our sorrows. Today, I invite you to speak or type in our chat, which I have right here, of the shared space, your name or the name of another you wish to be remembered. Michael. Don Fox. I'm sorry? Ron. Ron Fox is entering hospice.
Mohammed Amar and his wife.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Mohammed Amar and his wife.
Muhammad Amar and his wife. I'm sorry? Keenan. Evelyn. Barbara Kuhn. And there's someone else? Kara. Nothing in the chat at this time, so we're going to move over to joys. Is there a joy that you like to speak out today? Our children. So your granddaughter, whose birthday is coming up on she'll be one next Saturday, and Appellative definition is now, I'm probably saying that wrong. Okay.
Niece Erin, who is cancer-free.
Niece Erin, who's cancer-free. Teresa and Bob on their new granddaughter, did I hear that right? Okay.
My mom's 75th birthday today.
A mother's 71st birthday today. We have a go ahead.
Melody and Nick, it's our 12th wedding anniversary.
Melody and Nick, 12th wedding anniversary, all right. I have a joy in the chat from Evelyn Weymouth. Joy, Bill, and choir members singing the music.
I'm on vacation and having grandma camp with the grandkids.
Vacation, having grandma time at camping on vacation. We have someone who's visiting. What's your name again? Hans Kuhn, his mother was a member here for many years. Okay, that's gonna be hard for me. 4 birthdays. Angel Marie, Vance, Jean, Jane, Paul. Thank you. Now I'm going to add, instead of joys and sorrows, this is the bridging service, and we're coming to the end of our church year here. So one thing about bridging is milestones. So over this past year, we just saw our children work this long, past year of working so hard. They've made a milestone, going from one grade to another. So I'd like to ask if our congregation today, if you have accomplished a milestone over this past church year, or if there's something that you've accomplished that you'd like to talk to us about or say that we can put today as a remember or celebration of what you've done, whether it could have been something small or something big. Maybe it's buying a house, or maybe you are actually studying something, or anything that you have done over this past year. I'm asking you to share your milestone with the congregation today.
I'll share one. I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary of working for the church, and I still love it just as much as
There we go. 1-year anniversary for working at the church and loving it.
Not till July.
It's almost there, yes.
My ex and I sold our house, so that's one step closer to divorce.
Andy's ex and her selling her house, one step closer to divorce. We have some things coming in on the chat real quick. We have a joy from Erica Rios. Joy for Lincoln Literacy, moving into a bigger space to accommodate more programming. Again, another joy here. Erica, joy for Ivy Fox Hayes on her graduation from Lincoln High School. Any other milestones? Go. Melody Vaccaro making national news. Go ahead. Volunteering of the year for Speedway Motors over here. That's a great milestone. We passed the 8th principle as a milestone for our church. We've done a lot this church, and we've done a lot for everybody. Everybody's done a lot this year, and even though you may have not said it, oh, yes, we have someone pointing over here.
I passed my dissertation comps and submitted my dissertation proposal so I can move into my research.
A dissertation conference, passing. This is great, wonderful, great milestone. We're lovely to celebrate that. So, my daughter Audrey graduated from high school from Kim Zeman.
My daughter and future son-in-law are getting a house, so we're going to be empty nesters again.
Mandy having her daughter getting in a house. It's great. See, these are milestones. Can't you believe we've experienced so many milestones?
I want to mark how we had OWL happen this year, and there were so many kids at every grade level that
The participation of OWL this year. We had a great participation, so many kids and volunteers doing that. Great news.
I spoke to Lincoln, and my partner also got a great job at UNL.
Oh, we have a partner moving Lincoln and make a new job at UNL. Congratulations.
17 years working for Doane University.
17 years for working at Doane. Well, thank
Throw one in for Oscar and a
Okay.
successful sabbatical.
Oscar for having a successful sabbatical.
Justice in Action and over 1,100 people attend.
Justice in Action having over 1,100 people attend this, another milestone. Can you believe it? Look at all what we've done this year. So let's take a moment, take a minute here to silent reflection so that we can remember this for each one of us today. Thank you, everyone, for your presence. We're going to move on. We have a lot to go to. We have shared the plate this today, Sunday. Each year at the spring congregational meeting, our members vote for 10 organizations for Share the Plate. The Share the Plate recipient for June 2023 is the Religious Council for Reproductive Freedom. Please welcome Trey Lusk, who will tell us more about their important work. Trey.
A wise person very recently told me that whenever you come to the pulpit, you should pause, take a breath, and then look around. So I'm doing that right now, and I want to say that wise person's name is Allison. So let's give her a round of applause for that great advice. Because coming from there to here is a transition, and it's not one I've done for a while, so thank you. So good morning. My name is Trey Coley Lusk, and I am a longtime proud member of this church. For those of you who don't know me, I became a member in 2008, and the pandemic kind of made my household the stay at home in your pajamas and join church over coffee, but in your living room kind of a thing. But I'm really glad to be here. I want to graciously thank you all for the selection of the Nebraska Religious Council for Reproductive Freedom, or RCRF, as we are known, as a Share the Plate recipient. Just a little bit, I'd like to say off the top that I'm the founder and board secretary for the Nebraska Religious Council for Reproductive Freedom. But before I tell you more about the organization, I want to take a moment and briefly share why I'm passionate about reproductive justice, why I'm here, and I don't want this to be a yay me or here's what I'm doing, but I really believe that allies have a unique responsibility and opportunity to share why they're involved in movements, especially for social justice. And for me as a queer person, I've always benefited from amazing allies, many of you out here in the congregation. So in anything, those of you who've known me since I've been a member here, anything you've known me to do professionally or volunteer-wise, reproductive justice has probably not been on your radar necessarily about what I've done, but I've actually been involved in this movement for 20 years, actually going on 30. So nearly 30 years ago, when I was an undergrad in southeastern Oklahoma, my best friend, who was an amazing woman to whom I was out as gay, she called me the Will to her grace, but I was really more of a Jack, to be honest. She, like many women, elected to have an abortion. Now that private healthcare decision, which was only hers to make, reached the ears of her conservative faith community. And I want to pause here and say, that is her story to tell. But what I saw as her best friend was an immediate shunning and a full rejection from her faith community and from her family. And so that horrific act nearly destroyed my friend's spirit and will. But it also was an early reminder, an early case sample for me of the horrific ways in which religion can be used to mean and oppress women. So I decided at that young age that I wanted to be a part of faith communities that were actively pro-faith, pro-choice, and pro-women. Because for me as a queer man, women are my roots and wings. I love my female sisters. You all are amazing. Now, contrary to the claims of the religious right, there are many faith traditions, including our own, that actively affirm a woman's autonomy and agency over her own body. So for me, again, using that early case example, Uplifting the voices of those faith traditions really became vital. And it's important now more than ever as we lost Roe last year when it was overthrown. So I, along with a core group of faith leaders, which included representatives of various faiths, we co-founded the Nebraska Religious Council for Reproductive Freedom in 2019, relatively recently. We had a sense when we founded it that we needed to fast-track the founding, speaking of becoming a nonprofit moving forward due to what was happening, but I don't think we really had any true idea of just how horrific things would necessarily get. In our time since our founding, we have brought together pro-choice faith leaders and persons of faith to advocate against any proposed abortion bans and advocate for reproductive justice. This was most notably seen when we assisted in organizing and partially underwrote the cost of a full-page newspaper ad that ran last February in opposition to LB 696, which was the proposed 6-week abortion ban here in Nebraska. That ad featured the signatures of nearly 130 faith leaders, 10 faith organizations, and it ran in 3 statewide newspapers, Lincoln, Omaha, and Grand Island. That might seem small, but given everything that's gone on from the anti-choice side, we said no. We are persons of faith, and we do support a woman's healthcare autonomy. We've also partnered actively with Planned Parenthood and other movement allies to emphasize the collective faith voice in defense of reproductive autonomy and healthcare. We've partnered actively with the National Religious Coalition for Reproductive Choice, which is an organization of which I'm a board member, to ensure that Nebraska remains a vibrant part of the reproductive justice movement with our national partners. We've united progressive clergy statewide to be active and frontline faith defenders against anti-choice messaging. We convened a lamentation service, as we termed it, last summer, right here. It was held at this church, to mourn the fall of Roe and to grieve the collective onslaught against women's health care and bodily autonomy. In everything we've done, we've attempted to emphasize the voices of historically marginalized communities in all of our messaging and our advocacy and our work. And that especially is really important to us, given the white supremacist origins of abortion bans. And we brought together persons of faith across Nebraska to form Nebraska's first ever pro-choice, pro-faith nonprofit organization. And notably, our founding board members included several Unitarians, Michael Reinmiller, Dorothy Ramsey, myself, and we had the full support of Oscar as we move forward. So the donations that RCRF received today will help fund our continued advocacy and our growing programmatic emphasis upon providing transportation services to women seeking abortions in other states. This is especially key given the Horde passage, as you all are no doubt aware, of LB 574, which is a 12-week abortion in this state. So supportive services such as transportation and counseling will be key for any pro-faith, pro-choice partner moving forward. So in closing, and especially because the Nebraska Religious Council for Reproductive Freedom, I know that's a mouthful, we're an all-volunteer nonprofit. Your support is so greatly appreciated. So I want to emphasize once more truly how proud I am to be a Unitarian Universalist and how proud I am to be a member of this church, because when it matters, we show up and we make one hell of an impact, friends. So thank you.
Trey, thank you so much for being with us today. As a reminder, we will give the RCRF any loose cash and any checks with share the plate written in the memo line. You may also consider texting giving simply by texting UC Lincoln and the amount you wish to give to 73256. Will the ushers please come forward and accept the offering?
It's an every one of us.
We've seen our youngest members today bridge into another phase of their lives. We also have members in our church who are stepping up to become new leaders in our church. And today we are asking those new leaders with previous leaders to come up and help them bridge to their new leadership roles. We'll have the previous leader speak and hand over their office to the new leader. And you're welcome to use the bridge. It's not just for children.
Hey, Kim, why don't you start on that side? I'll start on this side, and we can see if we can negotiate the middle. So I'm Judy Hart, president of the Board of Trustees, and I stand on the shoulders of giants. So this is just one more handing off to our next leader. So Kim Zeman is our next board president. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. I am looking forward to serving this congregation, and I'm grateful to have the support of everybody on the board, and Judy staying on as past president.
I'm Karen Hafer, outgoing program council chair. And as I hand off, I think of a bridge being started with real solid material, and I know Marcia will have that with the liaison she is going to be dealing with, and with the organization that we have formed in this church. And I also think of a bridge being a real support for people, and I know she will also get support from all of you and from me as she moves on to this new job. So, and Jason has said we could hand off anything. Yep. So Marcia has sent me a lot of questions, which is wonderful. I love questions. And so on this flash drive, there are some question answers and templates of different things you asked for.
That was kind of scary. I'm really a klutz, so I wasn't sure I could do this, as my husband knows, without falling. So I'm just humbled and honored, and I know I have huge shoes to fill, and Karen's been wonderful to work with, all of the liaisons on the program council, and I'm excited to get started. So thank you all.
So I believe we have all of our new members to the Board of Trustees here. So if you can come on over here real quick. Over the bridge? Yeah, you can go over the bridge. One's already made it. Look at this. Thank you all for coming to serve, and we appreciate you, all three of you, coming into this new wonderful chapter of being on the Board of Trustees. We thank you so much. Thank you.
So last year, Jason and I took on the role of interim treasurer and vice treasurer. We were learning together. We had some very patient, very helpful teachers. Thank you, Wendy. But we got it figured out, and for the entire time, we've been tag teaming. So I have always known that if I needed something, Jason could handle it, and I hope I had his back when he needed it too. So my time is up, and Jason is going to be taking over as full-time treasurer, and I know he's going to be great. I was going to pass off a calculator, but I do not have one, so there you go.
I look forward to being treasurer. I can't wait. I am looking for a vice treasurer, so if you feel the wanting to come and partner up with me over these next couple of years, I'm anxious to see you and talk to you. So I am so grateful for this church. Thank you again. What a morning. Thank you all. Throughout time, there has been a common description of how we tell the stories of our lives. More often than not, we describe it as a journey. Throughout the journey, we talk about how we reach milestones. Those milestones are important to us and how we figure out who we are. In each milestone, it is a place for us to remember if we had success, failure, or who knows what. It could be a point of us learning something about just who we truly, truly are. A moment of when maybe we fell in love, or a moment of loss. And I think from time to time we reflect on those moments and make us contemplate or celebrate those milestones. Today we have been celebrating bridging of our members. And I step back and take a look at what bridging means. I'm a visual person, so I do envision a bridge. It helps us to get from point A to point B. It is a simple little concept, though our lives are not simple. How we get from point A to point B is different for each and every one of us. Some of the bridges that we have to traverse are over deep chasms, or some of those bridges we have to cross fire, and maybe some crossing some turbulent river. Some of those bridges are sturdy and make it easy to cross. Some of those bridges are rope bridges, where you have to hold on for dear life. Ultimately, I believe we cross those bridges and come out the other side. How we come out on the other side we are always not the same as when we started the journey to cross that bridge. On our journey, a lot of times, though, we do this alone. We have to figure out how to traverse our lives by ourselves. This happens more than we probably want to. Having to figure out life mysteries alone is not something we really do want to do. So a question arose inside of me, thinking about our journey and everybody's journey as we cross over our bridges. That question is, how does the church help us in these journeys? Now, there are probably a lot of answers to this question for each and every one of us. I'm going to focus on just one answer. We are a community who supports each other in our journeys. I have heard been said here at this Unitarian Church that this is a place for us to transform our lives. This is a big thing to say, transforming our lives, especially when we do a lot of transforming on our own. We have just seen today our current members and children transforming their lives right in front of us. From our youngest members getting names, children transforming right in front of us as they grow up and go to school and do all the things that growing up has us do. And finally, adults who are taking on the challenge of being leaders in this church. One thing that this church, I believe, needs to do on a consistent basis is to encourage, believe, and support each one of us in our own personal journeys. Let me tell you that being a cheerleader for people who we don't know very well is not easy. Each one of us may have apprehension or even anxiety to step out of your comfort zone and tell a person that you may have never met, I believe in you. You can do it, and it's going to get better. And then there's the real tough part, doing it again and again and again to that person or to a new person that you just said that to. Checking in with them and making sure that their journey across whatever bridge they are moving is moving in some sort of direction. I have learned that in my life I have experienced this. As I grew up, I found out that a lot of people believed in me. No matter what journey I was taking, they were interested. The biggest group came from church that I grew up in. Whenever I went back to my church that I grew up in, I saw people from that old church, and they were still genuinely interested in how I was doing. Some have told me that they have been praying for me for over the years of my life. Trust me, that surprised the crap out of me. These are some people who have known me since I was a toddler, and today they still believe in me. Now, you might ask yourself, how can I do this? What is the action I can do to start? You just saw our young people members today accomplishing their own personal journeys. They need us as a congregation. We have a great leader in our GL team, and she is always, always looking for volunteers to help out on Sundays. Whether it is with elementary school age or with our burgeoning teenagers going to middle and high school, they need our involvement more than ever. Please think about how you can spend an hour or two throughout the year and be there for our children who are our future, who are truly on an amazing journey. If kids are not your bag of tea, I get that. We have amazing teams for us here as adults who we have built to help us, support us as a community. As you just saw, our leaders, we also have a new program counselor leader. She would love to hear from you, to see what areas you can be involved in. Don't forget that after each Sunday also, we have coffee hour. It is time for us to talk, to fellowship, and to get to know one another. I, for one, would love to talk to anyone. But I know we have a lot of people here in this church who are wanting to get to know you. People that walk in our door every Sunday who may be new and want to get to know our community and maybe be a part of it. We need to be open to that. This morning, I want to leave you with something that I saw from Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. As we are on our journey, people have helped us wherever we remember or not. I want to take this opportunity for us to think about that. I'm going to quote Mr. Rogers in his instructions to us from a commencement speech to the Dartmouth students in 2002. I'd like to give you all an invisible gift. A gift that's a silent minute to think about those who have helped you become who you are today. Some of them, maybe you're here right now. Some may be far away. Some, like my astronomy professor, may even be in heaven. But wherever they are, if they loved you and encouraged you and wondered what was the best in life for you, they're right inside yourself. And I feel that you deserve quiet time on this special occasion to devote some thought to them. So, let's just take a minute in honor of those who have cared for us all along the way. Just one silent minute. Let's begin. Whomever you've been thinking about, imagine how grateful they must be that during your silent times, you remember how important they are to you. It's not the honors and the prizes and the fancy outsides of life which ultimately nourish our souls. It's the knowing that we can be trusted, that we never have to fear the truth, that the bedrock of our lives from which we make our choices is very good stuff. We are here at the Unitarian Church, are a loving community uniting reason with spiritual exploration to transform ourselves and our world. I believe we cannot do this without believing in each other and cultivating our community. As part of our covenant, we create each other with loving kindness. We cultivate growth and celebrate the changes growth brings. I have come to believe a quote from Ted Lasso. I believe in hope. I believe in believe. Thank you.
If just one person believes in you, deep enough and strong enough, believes in you, hard enough and long enough, before you knew it, someone else could think, if he can do it, I can do it. Making it two. Two whole people who believe in you. And if two whole people believe in you, deep enough and strong enough, believe in you, hard enough and long enough, there's bound to be some other person who believes in making it a threesome, making it three. People you can say, believe in me. And if three whole people, why not four? And if four whole people, why not more? And more, and and when all those people believe in you, deep enough and strong enough, believe in you, hard enough and long enough, it stands to reason you yourself will start to see what everybody sees in you. And maybe even you can believe
Thank you. Our closing words today are from Rita Clint, an artist. Sometimes people appear in your life unexpectedly, like a gift from the universe. You didn't even know you needed them, or that you had called out silently to them. They appear when you needed them most, to lift you, educate you, wake you up, or shine a light on your path. They sprout the seed that was in you and patiently watch that seed emerge from the soil. Sometimes it wears them out to water and fertilize you every day as you grow. This is a delicate time, you as the plant and they as the nurturer. You as the plant need them for your growth, and they as your nurturer have to have the energy to believe in your growth. Then one day you blossom and awaken to the beauty around you and rejoice. The only thing you ask from them anymore is to celebrate the flower they have brought to life and accept the riches you now will give to them.
It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside, and when you wake up ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day. Such a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that I'll be back when the day is new, and I'll have more ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. I will too.
Thank you for coming today. Have a wonderful week. Go in peace.